Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Nigeria's unemployment crisis has shown no signs of slowing down with the continuous increase in unemployment rates in the country. Our second guest today on the show, Mary Dinah, has transformed the Human Resources Department of her hospitality company, MAD, to help combat the issue of unemployment in Nigeria. JobLink Foundation is Nigeria's first job center located in Lagos. Over the past 4 years, the company has built a growing network of over 1 million job seekers. Welcome to the morning show,
Welcome, Mary.
Morning. Wow, you have such a robust catalogue of work.
Right.
You've worked with some, dare I say, the top restaurants, the top hospitality chains. We've got luxury chains up there. You studied at Oxford. You studied at Nottingham. I mean, you've got a great portfolio. So what made you decide that you would sort of not give this up, but focus on job seekers in Nigeria?
Yeah, so my background is hospitality. I have a master's in hotel management. So I started my career with the likes of Four Seasons, with Marriott, with Starwood. And then I went to Harvard and studied entrepreneurship. And at that point, I decided I wanted to start my own hospitality consulting firm. So I moved back to Nigeria, and I started a hotel management company. And so I was really excited about structuring all the deals and managing the hotel, the customer service, food and beverage, all of the different exciting parts of hospitality. But I ended up in the boardroom every day recruiting. And that's where I realized that there was a major problem in the human resource capital in Nigeria and in Lagos. So every day I was interviewing people, meeting people. I realized that there was a need for them to be trained properly. Then I realized that, in terms of their education, their background, there were gaps there. So while I was thinking, there's a problem somewhere in the HR market within Nigeria, a disaster happened. There was, I don't know if you remember the Nigerian government agency where they were looking to recruit 50,000 people, the immigration agency, and there was a massive stampede and people died, people were injured. And that's when I decided, that was like the light bulb moment, when I decided that something has got to change with the unemployment situation in the country. So that's how we birthed JobLink, Nigeria's first ever job center. We used the Job Center Plus model from the UK to build a high street job center where anybody can walk in. They can bring in their CVs, regardless of your background, regardless of your education. We're there to help, and we started connecting people.
Wow, fantastic.
And now you have over 3,000
employers as clients, yes.
Wow.
We have over 100,000 job seekers on our database. We then moved on from just connecting people to actually doing employability trainings. We worked with the British Council, we worked with Microsoft.
You actually received an award, a Social Impact Award from the British Council.
Yes, we did. And the thing is, when we started, it was not a not-for-profit organization. It was actually a recruitment company. But soon, quickly after, we realized that this is a human need.
Yes.
This is a need for Nigeria. This is something that really should be done on a government level. So we were actually one of the pilots that the Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment used to set up 5 different job centers across Lagos State, Ibile, and that's all the 5 different main constituencies of Lagos. And we were part of their implementation, which meant so much to us, not just to personalize our own business and say, well, this is our company, this is how we operate, to say, hi government, hi Ministry of Youth, hi Ministry of Employment, let's work together because you have the resources to expand this further than we can. So that's what we've been doing with JobLink.
Wow. And you also have the free CV clinic.
Yes. So what we then did was, with the British Council, we did focus groups and we started to talk to CEOs of top companies, and we said, what is it that you're really looking for in graduates, in the people that you're recruiting? And by far, they said that the number one thing that makes them say no to one person and yes to the other person is the CV. That is the gateway. Once your CV is not properly prepared, you don't even make it to the interview. And so they were always asking, how can we help people improve their CVs? Because if they don't have a good CV on their desk, that's the end of it. So we started free CV clinics. We've improved over the CVs of over 5,000 youths. We've partnered with the Sweet Sensation, and they've been absolutely fantastic. They also have a very strong philanthropic arm. They opened up all of their 27 stores across Lagos to us that we can use as centers where people can go bring their CVs, and then our team is there to help them improve it. So we've been doing that for a few years now. And now what we're working on, a new initiative with the Mary Dinah Foundation, is our child feeding program.
Yes,
so it's a school feeding program.
Yeah.
So this is so dear to my heart. There's so many children, living below the poverty line who can't afford food in schools. And it's a big global problem. It's something that the World Bank works on heavily. The United Nations feeding organization, they work on it heavily as well. Millions and millions of dollars are spent every year feeding poor children all around the world. And Nigeria is not an exception. There are a lot of state schools where these kids just don't have money for food. And you can imagine being a 6-year-old going to school and it's lunchtime and one person brings out lunch and you don't have any lunch. It's disheartening. And there's so many benefits. So one of the things that people said is, well, when you feed these kids, it's just food. No, it's not just food. Yeah. It's been linked to improvements in enrollment, linked to improvements in reducing absenteeism, improving their nutrition and their health, and so many other things. It's linked even to terrorism. Because at the end of the day, if kids are not in school, what happens? They're then recruited by gangs, by terrorist gangs, and so many other ills in the world. It's linked to reducing youth unrest. So we need to get our kids in school. It's even, and this part also I really love because it helps to improve gender parity and gender equity. Because quite a number of parents may decide, we need our little girls at home to clean, to cook. What's the opportunity cost? Why should I send them to school? Who's going to do this cleaning? But if they know that they can eat in school, well, then they can save some money at home. Exactly. It then makes sense for them, in terms of calculating what it costs to send that child to school. So the girl child is being more and more educated because of these programs.
And so what are the schools that you're involved in right now?
Quite a number of state schools within Lagos. One of them is called St. Stephen's Schools in Lagos Island, but we're working with Lagos State to feed over 2,000 schools. We're limited, of course, by funding, by budget. To give you an example, in the UK, £500 million a year is spent on the school feeding program.
Wow.
So, and the UK has about 60 million people population. Nigeria has 200 million.
Of course, obviously, you need more help. And so tell us how people can help your foundation.
Yeah, I mean, they can support, they can volunteer, absolutely. They can sponsor individually. We have corporate sponsors. We have government sponsors as well. So we need as much support, as many people to join hands with us and make Nigeria better.
Fabulous.
I'm very proud
such a great job.
It's very amazing to see you.
Yes,
do this.
well, it is time for a short break on the morning show. Next up, we're discussing the non-profit sector here in Nigeria and ways we as individuals can be more intentional with giving back. Don't go away.